Or this is a student discovering a passion and finding an adult willing to do an independent study in that area. But this is not readily available to all students. Certain teachers teach certain courses at certain levels that are meant for certain ages. This limits the students' options. Even now, a few things are being done to change this at Monument. Some courses are assessed at various levels per choice of the student, but taught as a whole, allowing all levels to have the same instruction and participate in the same discussions with a broader variety of perspectives. This is an example of an educational potential being taken advantage of in a much better way than what I usually see. I maintain that we can and must do even better than this. We are still not incorporating all the resources available. Students have interests outside what school offers, and a lot is done to accommodate this through extracurricular activities and other opportunities. But we've yet to adapt to one of the most prevalent aspects of our culture. Technology is still considered a distraction in the way that teens most often use it. Neil Postman offers a way to combat the negative impacts of technology by incorporating it into education. He says, "I don't think any of us can do much about the rapid growth of new technology. However, it is possible for us to learn how to control our own uses of technology. The forum that I think is best suited for this is our educational system. If students get a sound education in the history, social effects, and psychological biases of technology, they may grow to be adults who use technology rather than be used by it." End quote. Other interests are also slated as not having a place in education. As students are being penalized for these distractions, they are being told, perhaps unintentionally and subliminally, that what they're interested in is wrong or unimportant. This is not the fault of the teachers, nor the students, or any one person, but everyone's fault for letting ourselves get so deeply entrenched in this system. As a student looking at the system I've been a part of, the history of educational reform, methods that stray from the most common path, and looking forward at the world I will be joining frighteningly soon, there are some components of education which I feel are essential to enabling the success of students in this post-industrial society. Adults speak about the seeming lack of care in my age group as we move through our education. I think that this is very real and very troubling and directly related to our lack of faith in a system that is taking us away from what we love and not providing us the opportunities to gain experiences that will engage us. A changed system can know it is successful if those in it, teachers and students and administrators and other staff members, want to be there and enjoy the work that they do. Again, I do not think we can point a finger at a single group for putting people in this position of lacking interest. Students should be taking ownership of their education and seeking opportunities to do worthwhile and wholehearted work. Adults in the system should be looking to be models of passion and provide opportunities for students to explore interests wherever possible. Students should be exposed to a variety of activities and potential interests so as to be able to determine what they are and are not interested in. They should then be provided the time to develop and further their particular interests. This must be a goal of a better system. Another opportunity I feel is necessary is one that provides students an arena in which they can develop the ability to formulate questions and adequately research through multiple avenues. Through practice, we can learn that the approach of multiple perspectives can lead to deeper understanding of information and greater opportunity for innovation. Seeming failure is an inherent aspect of this concept, but as Sir Penn says, if you are not prepared to be wrong, you never come up with anything original. Students must recognize failure as inevitable and develop the ability to overcome the challenges such learning entails. Additionally, this is a way to help prepare for uncertainty. If students have practiced teaching themselves, they will be better equipped to do so later on in life. This can be accomplished in many ways. The independent project presents the opportunity for this type of learning to begin. I was responsible for designing my studies, and I was predominantly responsible for assessing my own work. Group mates and adult advisors offered feedback at various times and in various ways, but I most often judged myself on my own level of engagement and the thoroughness of my research, as well as how well I had been able to transfer my interest in learning into the teaching I did of the subject I studied. The most disappointing times were when any one of us had realized we'd chosen to study something and found out we weren't interested in it over the course of the week. But if you recognize this, there is an immense potential to bounce back and be veered towards a different, more engaging path with increased vigor. Having that ability to admit to not knowing if something would be boring and then search for a truly engaging subject is crucial, not only in independent projects, but in all areas of study and in career choice. Should I find myself unsatisfied with the job I've chosen, I would want to know I had the ability to step back from that decision, learn from the mistake, and step forward in a direction that would be rewarding. If students can learn this, they will be prepared for much more than if a lack of interest in material is simply met with the necessity of sloshing through the subject. Knowledge about areas of interest can lead to a more appropriate grouping of students. If students can gain an understanding of their interest in the ways they learn, students can be more appropriately grouped. They can also be grouped in a variety of ways so as to gain a better personal understanding of his or her own best learning environment, and also how to work with people they may not work well with naturally. For example, if all the people interested in studying environmental science who wouldn't necessarily choose to work together could be put in groups based on their mutual interests and learn to work together for that reason. On the other hand, people who know they work well together could be in a group for a subject that none of them are truly passionate about, so that as they work together, they could help each other gain a better appreciation for the subject. This year in the project, I saw the most collaboration done when we were studying math. I think this stemmed from math being less liked in general by this particular group, but some great work was able to come out of collaboration because of the self-assigned groups. Grouping should be done in a way that promotes collaboration but allows for individual thinking. We are used to being taught in groups and being told that working together in many cases is cheating. Collaborative work, it would seem, would greatly increase the capacity for creative thinking and appreciation of a subject that is generally less liked. This must be balanced with the student's ability to be self-reliant as well as with the ability to work in undesirable working environments and adapt to them. Great learning can happen in groups, and sheer numbers is one of the best resources a school has. Our system dictates that the teacher is the main mind in a room. This needn't be the case. We're simply caught up in what has been the case for so long that we aren't looking at what must be the case for us to accomplish the best learning possible. For example, the AP Psychology course at Monument is a group independent study. Parents and students, under the direction of 2 faculty members, are responsible for teaching 2 units over the course of the semester, including assigning and grading work. There are teachers guiding the work and there for support, but they recognize what students have to offer each other and to offer the teachers. The ideas I have outlined for what I consider necessary for a better school can all be seen in glimpses at Monument, but are more often a rarity and simply a matter of chance than they are an explicit goal of those involved. But I think that when people in this building glimpse these moments, they recognize them as out of the ordinary and worthy. We cannot seem to replicate them on the scale that would make them the norm rather than chance happenings. To make this the norm, we'll have to make drastic changes, take bold steps forward, and take risks. We've spent so long following a no longer applicable way of schooling, the changes we now must make are very extreme. The type of changes that will meet the ends we must value will seem radical, but we cannot be afraid of failure because we are already failing. Ravage asks us, what should we think of someone who never admits error, never entertains doubt, but adheres unflinchingly to the same ideas all his life, regardless of new evidence? Doubt and skepticisms are signs of rationality. When we are too certain of our opinions, we run the risk of ignoring any evidence that conflicts with our views. It is doubt that shows we are still thinking, still willing to re-examine hardened beliefs when confronted with new facts and new evidence. We must continue to doubt so that we can have hope of improving. We cannot let ourselves off the hook by playing into the mindset that this is how it is and not something we are expected to change. We are failing now. If we continue to fail in the same way over and over, we are making fools of ourselves. So we must change. And if we fail in different ways throughout the process, we can learn what doesn't work, and from that gain ideas for what may work. But if we do not try something new, then we are not serving students or society. We cannot complicitly output more underprepared individuals. We must ask the right questions of our educational system, and once we answer these questions, we must match the method of schooling to the educational goals. We must determine what must be present in schooling for kids to be engaged in the learning and for them to be prepared to enter an uncertain world upon ending their time in school. We must shed our preconditioned mindset and move away from a system that is producing compliant, bored, unhappy consumers. As John Taylor Gatto puts it, whatever an education is, it should make you a unique individual, not a conformist. It should furnish you with an original spirit with which to tackle the big challenges. It should allow you to find values with which will be your roadmap through life. It should make you spiritually rich, a person who loves whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whomever you are with. It should teach you what is important, how to live, and how to die. We must find a way for students to understand themselves well enough to create a system in which they can operate, rather than fitting themselves to a no longer applicable system. This is the responsibility of everyone involved. Students, teachers, parents, and community members all have something at stake in this system.